Newsdrops for January 22, 2025. In weather news, Snowmageddon hits Gulf Coast. Climate alarmists left out in the cold. Florida just logged its highest snowfall ever with 8.8 inches in Milton. New Orleans got a whopping 8 inches, more than triple its 1963 record. Houston saw up to 4 inches in some areas. The French Quarter looked more like Quebec, with tourists trading hurricanes for hot chocolate. Al Gore's beach house predictions looking pretty chilly right now. So much for inconvenient truths. Even Mobile, Alabama broke its all-time record with 7.5 inches. Wonder if John Kerry's private jet needs de-icing. In science news, there is a 6-planet alignment going on, a more transparent January display than DC politics. Venus, Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, Uranus, and Neptune line up for a celestial parade. 4 visible to the naked eye, 2 requiring telescopes. Still easier to spot than classified January 6th investigation, FBI or CIA documents. NASA says these alignments aren't super rare, but neither is government transparency. Venus and Saturn already had their conjunction last week, probably discussing Hunter's art career. Mars rising in the east while Jupiter shines overhead, like gas prices under different administrations. In entertainment news, Netflix price hike, now paying more for less diverse Viking queens. Standard plans jumping to $17.99, premium to $24.99. Adding nearly 19 million subscribers during holidays. Turns out people do watch shows without forced messaging. Extra member fees rising to $8.99, though ads-based sharing stays at $6.99. Maybe they're saving money by actually casting redheads as redheaded characters. Their investment in programming hopefully means fewer medieval Scandinavians looking like they're from Southern California. In national politics, Trump's Day 1 speed run, making bureaucrats cry again. Breaking: President Trump's first 24 hours back in office have been busier than a Hunter Biden art dealer. Let's recap. 5 a.m., wakes up, tweets, "Make America Great Again." CNN fact-checkers still investigating. 9 a.m., DEI programs get all expenses paid, permanent vacation. Federal DEI staff sent home faster than classified documents leaving the White House, memo deadline. 5 p.m. EST, or as DEI would say, chronologically privileged moment of completion. BBC reporter faints upon hearing merit-based hiring mentioned. 11 a.m., executive order drops, labels, DEI schemes dangerous, demeaning, and immoral. HR departments nationwide suddenly remember what qualifications are. Sensitivity trainers begin updating LinkedIn profiles. 2 p.m., China trade talk. Announces 10% tariff on Chinese goods. Beijing responds quicker than Hillary deleting emails. Chinese ministry threatens to defend national interests, presumably not including TikTok data. 4:59 p.m., DEI offices emptier than Kamala's border visit schedule. Pronouns officially declared non-essential government spending. Equity flowcharts repurposed as paper airplanes. Unconscious bias trainers become consciously unemployed. Bonus: government efficiency up 47% in first 8 hours. Margin of error, whatever the fact-checkers are crying about. Stay tuned for tomorrow when Trump tackles the rest of the swamp, right after they finish draining all those DEI PowerPoints from the federal servers. Trump says non to Paris Climate Accord, America first, Paris second. Second time's the charm, the US withdraws again, effective in 1 year. Trump calls it Biden's climate extremism. America leads in oil production but supposedly needs Europe's permission to use it. With the US being second in emissions after China, despite population differences, maybe we should focus on their coal plants before our BBQs. More inauguration stuff. The Paul brothers turn presidential inauguration into YouTube prank. Influencers sabotage Theo Von's chair during Trump's speech. Danica Patrick looked concerned, while Von quipped about Kamala's chairs. Logan Paul filmed it all, proving some influencers need influence control. Even Conor McGregor showed more decorum. Von's response about falling through to another world probably more profound than intended. In world news, Putin's peace offensive. From Cold War to cold shoulder to let's talk. Putin suddenly talking peace faster than Hillary can delete emails. The Russian leader, who's been playing global hide-and-seek since his Ukraine special operation, now sees a Trump presidency as his ticket back to the diplomatic dinner table. Talk about perfect timing. Right after Trump survives more assassination attempts than a James Bond movie. Speaking from his not-so-humble abode, probably decorated with Hunter Biden's artwork, Putin blamed the Biden administration for the diplomatic deep freeze. After his summer vacation touring North Korea, because nothing says I'm not isolated like hanging out with Kim Jong-un, Putin's now eager to chat with Trump. Meanwhile, Zelensky's calling Trump strong, quite the upgrade from past days. Looks like everyone's learning the art of the deal. Trump's playing it cool though, like a Mar-a-Lago ice sculpture. He's willing to meet Putin but not before he's officially back in office. That's what we call America First diplomacy, unlike certain administrations that preferred leading from behind. And while Putin's talking peace, both sides are still playing drone tag over Eastern Europe. Nothing says ready for negotiations like UAVs doing the electric slide over Russian airports. At least it's keeping Raytheon shareholders happy. The kicker? All this diplomacy is happening while the mainstream media is still trying to figure out how to blame Trump for Putin's 2022 invasion that happened during, checks notes, Biden's presidency. Now that's what I call Russian disinformation. Marburg virus outbreak feared as terrifying bleeding eyes disease that kills 88% detected. Tanzania's president confirmed on Monday that a sample from a remote part of northern Tanzania tested positive for the deadly Marburg disease. President Samia Suluhu Hassan, speaking in Dodoma, the capital, alongside World Health Organization Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, revealed the alarming news. The WHO had initially reported a suspected outbreak of Marburg, which had claimed 8 lives in Tanzania's Kagera region on January 14th. Tanzanian health officials disputed the report hours later, stating that tests on samples had returned negative results. However, further tests have now confirmed a case of Marburg, according to Hassan. Similar to Ebola, the Marburg virus originates in fruit bats and spreads between people through close contact with the bodily fluids of infected individuals or contaminated surfaces. Symptoms include fever, muscle pains, diarrhea, vomiting, and in some cases death from extreme blood loss. There is currently no authorized vaccine or treatment for Marburg. According to WHO, Marburg kills half of the people it infects, but this figure can rise as high as 88%. The organization described the symptoms on its website and explained patients can experience confusion, irritability, and aggression. The website added, MVD begins abruptly with high fever, severe headache, and severe malaise. Muscle aches and pains are a common feature. Severe watery diarrhea, abdominal pain and cramping, nausea, and vomiting can begin on the 3rd day. Non-itchy rash have been reported in patients between 2 and 7 days after onset of symptoms.